What's good, everybody? It's your boy Big Nate. Welcome to Big Nate's Book Reviews, some of the best book reviews. And today we are doing all the books that I need to read this year, or else you need to unsubscribe from my ass. So I got my doobie right here. It's ready to be sparked. And today we'll be smoking this one for Sonia Sotomayor. So if you got your doobie at home, go ahead and spark that. And then we are finna get right into it. So while I'm lighting this up, swear to God, you really, truly ought to get to my podcast, because that shit is super lit. Big Nate Short Story Club, home of the best short story clubs. The link will be in the description. Okay, so let's just get right into it. So first off, this one's kind of cheating because I'm already like halfway through it. But first off, I really had better finish it this year. I wanted to get this book last year, but so I'm well overdue. But better late than never. That's what I always say. Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. And so yeah, I'm a pretty good chunk of the way through. This book is like close to 1,000 pages, if not over. I think it's actually over, but so it's a thickin'. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. It's very you would know this if you listen to the podcast, but it's very different than what I expected, because I thought it would be like this kind of almost like Count of Monte Cristo type epic adventure that would just be funny. Because if I remember, Count of Monte Cristo is actually pretty funny too. But like Don Quixote is known for being like for being like a comedy. So anyway, I thought it would be like this epic adventure. It's like I'm halfway through the book. In terms of like like raw plot, very little actually has happened. Like they can't be more than a few miles away from their hometown, like the entire thing that is taking place. And it's basically like, the premise is what I had no idea this is what it was, but it's like this middle-aged, in fact like older than middle-aged Hidalgo, which is like I believe it's like a low class like citizen at the time, and he just is like reading chivalry novels, which are the equivalent of like, you know, entertainment garbage, like romance novels or something. And he's just like tearing through it night and day, and he's doing this like non-stop until eventually he just snaps and goes crazy. And then his whole it's like he's gone mad basically, and everyone can tell that, and he thinks he's like an actual knight errant who is like going, and then basically it's him going on these adventures. And he has a squire named Sancho Panza, also very famous. Like, this truly is a dynamic duo. And it's just, I said somewhere else, but he's described as lacking like salt in his brain pan. Like Loki, he just too stupid. Like he just dumb enough that he like is able to, that he like goes along with what Don Quixote is saying. It's basically just like a bunch of misadventures, and it's like just very funny. I won't even get into that now, but it is indeed quite comedic, as we would say, given that it is a comedy. So okay, now I'm just going in order of like book size. So up next is Plato's The Republic. I should have been on this, but it's like, I don't know, the more you read classics, just like everybody, like he's all up in Don Quixote. He's all up in this other book I'm reading that I'll talk about in a second, Michel de Montaigne's Complete Essays. Like, it's just, it's Plato, right? Like Socrates and Plato, and they are just all over the place. In fact, like it's said about like modern philosophy, like literally modern philosophy is nothing but Plato's footnotes. And look at this, god dang copy. That shit is beautiful. And I don't know, I think I tried reading this a long time ago, and I'm like, this shit's boring, but it's time. I've developed enough, and I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. Apparently, I think it's like, no, it's not even apparently, like, it for sure just is like dialogue style, where it's one of those things where it's like he got like Glaucus or Brutus or some shit, and he's like, so tell me, Glaucus, you wouldn't say blah 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 blah, right? And he's like, certainly not, of course not, that's clear. And he's like, well, then you wouldn't say blah 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 blah. And he said, well, yes, that's obvious, that's a given. And then anyway, and then it's like he basically through conversation demonstrates all his arguments. But anyway, more to the point is motherfucking Plato's Republic. And the granddaddy of all philosophy, Socrates. Because it's funny, everyone attributes it to Plato, but I'm like, is it not Socrates? What did Plato actually... I mean, I guess I'll find out, but it's like, obviously Plato contributed something, but it's like, when people attribute to something to Plato, are they really attributing it to Plato's transcription of Socrates? Let me know in the comments. If not, I'll find out soon enough. But okay, going in the philosophy vein, up next we have Actually, what is it? Twilight of the Idols and the Antichrist. That's also like a sick ass cover. I want to let it. Penguin, dude, Penguin with the covers is unparalleled. They truly are. Like, I sacrifice translation for cover sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. It's Nietzsche. I've read excerpts from him. I took this whole ass class on existentialism.
Man acts as a sort of blank canvas, where as he goes through life, he can paint himself by different actions he goes through, his different choices. It is a living attitude that is yet defining and creating itself.
That was good.
That looked like it.
And he's fun. He's like a literary philosopher, as far as I know. Like, he uses literary techniques. I'm excited. Yeah, I really don't know. It's been I basically recall nothing, but apparently this is a good place to start. And it's when he makes the most sense, because I know he does go like, I believe at the end of his life, he literally went like, you know, he was truly mad, like crazy, a raving lunatic. I don't know about raving lunatic, but to make the point that he went crazy. Okay, up next we have Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina, and this why do they do this? Why do they put stickers like that on there? I hate that shit. Why do they make stickers that don't naturally peel off? That shit gets me so heated. And then they put it on your car. You get a ticket. Anyway, so yeah, truly the man who needs no introduction, Leo Tolstoy. Anna Karenina, first off, this is kind of an ugly cover too. It's like, I don't like any of the realistic movie ones, and this is just like, even just shape-wise, it's like, what's going on here, bro? Like, but yeah, it's mother freaking Anna Karenina. So that, and then paired with this one, okay, wait, whoa, sorry, I have to make that clear. I'm reading either Anna Karenina or War and Peace, so let me know. I'm not reading, well, honestly, I would like to read both of them. But don't unsubscribe from me if I haven't read those other three I just mentioned, but unsubscribe from me, let me say that, if I don't at least read one of these. And let me know which one in the comments. I'm leaning towards War and Peace just because it's like, damn. But I don't know, I've heard great things about Anna Karenina too. Honestly, like I said, I'd like to be both. I've read the big two by Dostoevsky, Brothers Karamazov and Crime and Punishment twice. And low-key, you know what I've been thinking about this year? It's just like, I low-key want to read Crime and Punishment again. But anyway, I've read two Dostoevsky, the two big ones, and it's like, if I'm not mistaken, Dostoevsky and Tolstoy like admired each other's writing. So it's like, you know, two brick-ass novels, or like two authors that write brick-ass novels. And yeah, so I don't know, let me know in the comments, but I'm thinking War and Peace. Unless people are like, you should really do Anna Karenina, but I'm thinking War and Peace. That shit is thick. Holy shit. Because I was waiting to film this till I got this today. This is a monster. Okay, those are notes, but we're looking at over 1,200 of like these pages. You see this head-wise? Like, anyway, Leo Tolstoy. That is honestly, this is the big one that if I don't read this motherfricker, unsubscribe from me and cyberbully me because I deserve every lick of it. Okay, up next, I want to read something. I don't want to. I need to read something by Virginia Woolf, either Miss Dalloway or To the Lighthouse. Just because this is a glaring gap in my resume, and Virginia Woolf is just spoken of, like, she's someone who crops up all over the place. She's like honestly, the best authors are your favorite author's author. Bam. And Virginia Woolf is one of those. So let me know in the comments. This one I'm really pretty agnostic about. To the Lighthouse or Miss Dalloway for a first time Virginia Woolf reader. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's just gonna be guaranteed good. Actually, I'm not so sure because I know she writes my freaking dog just waits to start making noise and doing all. I know she's stream of consciousness, and I don't like stream of consciousness really. At least not so far. Prove me wrong. I don't care. I would like you to. Up next. So wait, just one of those. If I didn't make that clear, just one of them. And then one parentheses number. Jane Austen's. One of these. I also have Pride and Prejudice. Let me know in the comments because I don't know. I'm thinking Pride and Prejudice because it's Pride and Prejudice, but Sense and Sensibility, Persuasion, and also Penguin with the covers, Emma. So let me know again in the comments. But one Jane Austen, that's mandatory. Another glaring I have like 5 books by Jane Austen now, just because I'm certain that she's gonna be good. There's just no way she's not gonna. So it was, I guess, a leap of faith. But and I'm excited, and I have it. So I gotta read a mother freaking book by her. But okay, up next. So okay, it's Shakespeare. I'm deciding how many I should have to read before, or else I'm unsubscribed from. I'm gonna say 3. I want to read Hamlet. I want to read Macbeth, and then I think it's between Romeo and Juliet or A Midsummer Night's Dream. And I have Othello and King Lear, The Tempest. I don't know if you have I'm doing Hamlet and Macbeth, but let me know in the comments what I should do for my 3rd Shakespeare, because I have basically all of them. But okay, so now we are getting to the section that I'm calling honorable mentions. Also, yeah, my dog is eating. But yeah, we're gonna do honorable mentions. So these are books that I would like to read. I have honestly, these should be in the list, but I don't want you to unsubscribe if I don't finish these. For one, just one of these 2, ancient epic, Metamorphoses by Ovid or the Aeneid by Virgil. And just to let you know again, in Don Quixote and again the Montaigne essays, in everywhere you read, as well as in I'm reading Schopenhauer right now. These both get mentioned as well. Ovid, Metamorphoses and the Aeneid. So if you have any thoughts on which I might like better, let me know. The Aeneid is just part of like that whole Trojan, like that goes right with the Odyssey and the Iliad, because Aeneas literally gets his ass like flung in the Iliad. He's almost about to get killed, and one of the gods is like, shit, he can't die because he's like fated to build Rome. So they like pick his ass up, and you literally see him fly over the battlefield. So yeah, honestly, again, I'd like to get both of these, and honestly, I should have got to Metamorphoses at least last year, but we're setting it on the honorable mentions. Honestly, no. Let me make. You know what? I need to push myself. I'm gonna make one of these mandatory. Let me know in the comments if you think, but one of these, and I'm leaning toward Metamorphoses. But I don't know. The Aeneid, I feel like I'm seeing getting mentioned more in all these like essays and stories. So, but Metamorphoses definitely comes up. So we'll see. We'll put a pin in that. Again, let me know, and I can let you know. Up next, Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Just another one of those books you kind of like gotta read. And another one of those books as well that is like favorite author. You know what Cormac McCarthy's one of his favorite books is? Moby Dick. And I don't know, other mother freakers too. So that's on the list. Okay, almost done. Up next, we have Michel de Montaigne's The Complete Essays. This is similarly a brick. This is also over like 1,000 pages, but oh geez, it's like 1,300. Oh my god. But it's like a bunch of essays. So far, it's just been like essays that are like a few pages, like 2 to 4 to like 6 pages. And he's just got like funny, not even funny, but it's like philosophy, but on weird topics. Like there's an essay in here called On Thumbs. And then there's an essay on like, there's a whole essay on how basically we like have to, it's like called like on putting emotional energy out on inanimate objects or some shit. And the beginning is like, just as wind blowing with not pushing against trees is not really wind, so too when we like, oh shit, I just fucking roundhouse. That's not even a roundhouse. Hit him with the hook. But you swing and then you hit nothing. There's nothing less satisfying than that. And anyway, so it's, there's one called On Liars, on Idleness. And so it's like very interesting in like daily kind of topics. But he like philosophizes and he brings in a lot of external texts, like good quotes and like stored passages, like from things like the Aeneid and Metamorphoses, etc. And he's high key like almost like historical, like he's very familiar with what like the almost like not even geopolitics, but like who the kings are and what they've recently done. Like anyway, last but not least, The Greek Myths by Robert Graves. I know this was recommended by at least Christopher Hitchens, and I'm pretty sure a couple more. I wanted to put this in my mandatory reading, but this one's also like almost 800 pages. And I don't know, but it looks like each myth is only like a few pages, but it's still, I don't want you to unsubscribe. This is one of those books I'm just gonna like come here and there, like maybe even between books I'll knock down a couple. Maybe if I'm just bored on it, like, you know, so no, and that might take, I don't know, I guess it could take more than a year. Certainly don't unsubscribe from me if I don't do it, but anyway, that wraps up another wildly successful episode of Big Nate's Book Reviews, which is in fact home of the best book reviews. I implore you to get to my podcast. I really do. Without further ado, thank you for listening to Big Nate's Book Reviews, home of the best book reviews.